Hello everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm broadcasting to you from Budapest, Hungary. Hi Jeffrey, my day's been going great. Thank you so much for asking. How was your day? I hope it was also well. I believe it's quite late where you are right now in Taiwan. Today we're doing reading practice and strategies. It is October the 27th and our materials are coming from our websites for academic IELTS. Please visit us at aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com. And for general IELTS, please visit us at gieltshelp.com. All right. Hi, Naveen. I saw you just jumped in. Hi, Manisha. How are you? I'm surprised you're in class. You must be very anxious waiting for your results. My question, Jeffrey, was how was your day? I was mentioning my day went really well, and I was just asking how your day went also. All right, so students watching, for a lot of help to pass the IELTS, again, join our premium courses on our websites. You can also become a member of our YouTube channel to get access to our exams, be able to request classes, and get access to exclusive videos. Hi, Arcana. Good to see you. Oh, you got your scores. Good. Do you mind sharing what you got? I'm curious. I'm very, very curious how you did being in so many of my classes. Hi, Mohammed. How are you doing? A lot of red heads out there. That's great. Oh, Arcana, 7 overall. Not bad. Not bad at all. That is a very good score. Just so you know, a lot of native speakers, high school, first year college, would score roughly 7, 7.5. So you should be proud of that. That is a very, very good score. And is that enough for you to achieve your goal? Most universities will definitely take a 7 overall for many, many majors. So I hope it's good enough. All right, so while we're having that chat, just a little bit more. If you have questions about IELTS or our products, email me at adrian@aehelp.com. Today, we're having this members chat. It's going to be a reading session. Tomorrow we're shooting some new HD videos on pronunciation and some for general IELTS. And then on Monday, Tuesday, no class as well. So, all right. Thanks, Arcana, for sharing the detailed scores. That's pretty good. That's a solid score. I bet a lot of students would be very, very happy to get a score of 7. All right. So just a quick peek for everybody who's watching. Our general IELTS website looks like this. It's the green background, and our academic IELTS website looks like this with the blue background. And among a lot of the videos and interactive courses for your phone, tablet, and PC, you'll also find our 6 full practice exams. And we're going to look at one of those practice exam reading passages right now. All right, so let's have a peek at this one here. No list of headings questions. So this is coming out of our exam book number 2. This is test number 6, and this is passage number 2. A little bit of a challenging passage for everyone today, all of our members. So let's take a look at this. All right, members, what do we do? So, Naveen, Mohammed, Jeffrey, Manisha, if you're still here, I don't know if you were just popping in to say hello. What should we do with this? So what should we take as a first step to get a good understanding of this passage and get a high score? Manisha says, have a look at the title. Is that what you did, Manisha, during the exam last week? Did you always check that title and think about it a little bit before you started reading the paragraphs? I hope you did. All right, so yeah, absolutely. This is a very good example of why we need to look at the title. So charity, always a positive good. Pay attention to punctuation as well. Notice that here you have a question mark, right? So it's not just saying always a positive good as a statement, but it's saying it as a question. Always a positive good? So if you realize that, charity, colon, always a positive good, then you think, okay, this passage is probably asking the question if charities are always good or not. Now, of course, you need to know the meaning of charity. Does everybody know the meaning? Does everybody understand the word charity? Manisha, good for you. Good for reading those titles. The title is basically a very strong, brief summary of what you're going to read. Okay, and a good author like this one here will write a very good title that will help you a lot. Manisha says, yeah, charity is donations, okay? It is not volunteering. Yeah, Mohammed, that's right. It's giving donation. It's giving money. Okay, charity in the most simple sense is basically giving money, which then helps to give food, support, aid to people in need. It is not the same as volunteering, so don't confuse those two. So charity, always a positive good. So is it always good to give money to organizations that help people around the world? Why is the author asking this question? So Jeffrey says it's humanitarian action or humanitarian aid. That's right, Jeffrey. Charities are humanitarian actions with money and or humanitarian aid. So here, of course, we need to ask, is that always good? Or that's what the author's asking. Why? So why does the author state this question? Well, maybe there is a negative side to charity. Maybe it's not always good. Maybe it's not always helpful, contrary to popular belief. How? How is it not always good? Okay, so here we're asking the what, the why, and the how about the title. How is it not always good? Mohammed says, well, sometimes charity funds are misused. Absolutely, Mohammed. Unfortunately, that actually happens quite often around the world, that charities misuse the money given by people. How are they misused? Any ideas around that? So now we're thinking critically about the title, we're visualizing, we're answering these questions. While I go and look at the questions to see if I can read some of them, think about how charities misuse money. Jeffrey, you're asking me, can you say it's a double-edged sword? Absolutely. So notice that question by your fellow student there, Jeffrey, saying that charities can be a double-edged sword. Double-edged sword means that you have your sword and it has an edge on both sides. Of course, that's dangerous for the user because you can cut your enemy, but the other way, you can also cut yourself. That idiom basically means that a charity can be good on one side, but a bad action on the other side. Why? Because sometimes that money is used in a way where it's going for a lot of administrators or office workers. Also, sometimes when you give charity to people, then you disempower them. It means that you keep giving them food and goods, and they forget how to fight for themselves. So you make them unable to fight for themselves. Okay, so charity can be a double-edged sword. Absolutely. Jeffrey, absolutely. Okay, so we've thought about the what, we've thought about the why, we've thought about the how, and now we look at the questions and decide if we should read them or not. So this first one here is reading passage 1 has 5 paragraphs, A to E. Should I read this one? Which paragraph contains the following information? Manisha, that's right too. So sometimes the money that's donated is proven to be unrealistic. So people give lots and lots of money for a goal that's not even a realistic goal. So yes, that happens in charities also. Great, very good. Everybody who's watching, excellent. Yeah, you should definitely read this question. It is all information in the passage, as you know. pay attention to this. You can use any letter more than once. I've never really seen, maybe I have, but I don't recall seeing one letter being used more than 2 times. Keep that in mind. It's possible, but I don't recall seeing it. So most likely, if you do use a paragraph more than 1 time, it should be probably maximum 2 times. If it's 3, if you're saying, oh, this is paragraph A, this is paragraph A, this is paragraph A, you should be very careful. You might be wrong on one of those, okay? But definitely, there's a good chance that at least one of them will be twice. Okay, let's read this nice and loud. So, the false portrayal of people in third world countries, the unseen negative effects of donating food, the unethical nature of some research. Charity can increase poverty instead of decreasing it. Finding cures does not earn money for companies. Now, Mohammed's saying, yeah, read the questions, and then one strategy here is to paraphrase these questions. Okay, let's do it this way today, members. I'm going to paraphrase starting from 18. You paraphrase from 14, and then we'll try to meet in the middle and see how we do. Okay, so members, try to paraphrase 14, 15, 16 this way, and I'm going to paraphrase 18, 17, 16, 15, and we'll cross over with each other and see what kind of paraphrasing we've done. So when you're preparing for IELTS at home, it's really good practice to paraphrase these questions because 95% they will not be the same way in the paragraphs. They will be paraphrased. So paraphrasing them helps you to understand them and identify them much faster when you're reading the passage, okay? It's very difficult to skim or scan or search for this information. All right, so here I go. Discovering treatments. Okay, doesn't earn, does not make money. For businesses. Solutions. Charity can increase poverty instead of decreasing it. Giving money can make people even more poor or poorer than better off. Okay, I'm going to check your paraphrasing, so keep going. So Jeffrey, for this one, I'll check it in a second. The unethical nature of some research, the immoral aspects of certain experiments. Okay, and then let's see if you've gotten 14 and 15 for me. So Jeffrey says the wrong depicted status of underprivileged nations. That's a very good one, Jeffrey. Wrong image of individuals in other nations. That's good as well. So wrong image, that was Muhammad Wahab, very good. Image of individuals in third world countries. We often don't use third world anymore. It's considered politically less correct. So often people will say individuals in developing countries or developing nations. Sure, those were some good paraphrases there, ladies and gents. Let's see what you're coming up with for number 15. So the hidden detrimental impacts of food supply. The hidden detrimental impact of food supply. Very nice, Manisha. Good paraphrasing there. Naveen, the negative side of, or uh, the deficit side of giving edibles. Edibles is a good paraphrase for sure. It's a nice synonym to use. Mohammed says the hidden side effect of donating meals. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one too. So the hidden side effects, very nice one there. Effects of, because side effects are negative, they're generally unwanted, of giving edibles. Edibles, like that. Okay, so that's good. All right, that's some great paraphrasing. Well done. Okay, so that gives us a really clear idea of what these are. Now, of course, in the real IELTS, you don't have necessarily enough time to paraphrase everything by pencil, but in your mind, you should certainly think of as much of these paraphrased sentences as possible when you're reviewing the questions. Arcana, Manisha, did you use paraphrasing in the listening and reading section when you wrote your exams not so long ago? I'm curious how much you actually applied paraphrasing throughout the exam. So did you use it often? Meaning, did you virtually have it going on in your mind all the time? Or did you just sometimes go, oh yeah, I should paraphrase? Or did you kind of go, oh yeah, I should paraphrase? I'm very curious. So feedback is really important for me, and it's good for me to know how effective that was for you as well, okay? It helps me to improve my teaching. So I appreciate feedback. While you're telling me that, let's look at questions 19 to 22. Okay. Mohammed, that's a great paraphrase for 16 as well. Let's move on 19 to 22, okay? Here we go. So this one says choose no more than 2 words. Very important to pay attention to that instruction. From the passage, write your answer in boxes 19 to 22. All right, so should we read this question before we read the passage? I bet you're all going to answer yes, because, of course, again, it's information that's in the passage. Don't worry about the blanks. Don't try to fill them in just yet. Your brain might do that anyway, but just read the words that you see. So we're going to read it. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's read it. While charity is considered an intrinsic good by many people, others its effectiveness. Companies have to make products that are profitable. 98.5% of money donated to curing breast cancer actually goes towards finding treatments which only a patient's life but do not cure them. Okay? Manisha Arcana, I'm still curious about that paraphrasing question. Did you try to paraphrase throughout your IELTS exam, the official one? Let me know. 22. The author argues that the practice of spending money on extending sick people's lives is because they should be finding a cure instead. Okay? Good. So, all right, we've read those. Again, at home, you should be paraphrasing these as much as possible. All right? So practice paraphrasing these statements, because remember, in the passage, it's unlikely that you're going to read the exact same information. Now, these questions, of course, these ones will be usually in the order of the passage. So the answer for this question will come before the answer for this question. The answer for this question will come before the answer for this question. Clearly, for the question we looked at before this one, it's not. So this is random. It's mixed up. So this is much more difficult to skim and scan for. Okay? So Manisha, good, very good. You said you paraphrased all of the headings. Those are absolutely key, the list of headings questions to paraphrase, and the multiple choice as well, but definitely the list of headings. So good for you. Good for doing that. I really hope that that's going to work out well for you. Okay, So questions 23 to 26, complete the summary using the list of words A to H. Again, we can read this one. It's all information contained in the passage. So this is a summary. Usually summary completion type questions, when you pay attention, you'll notice that they come from usually one part of the reading passage. So here it says food aid in Haiti. So we can already guess that one, maybe two paragraphs in this reading passage will be about the food aid in Haiti, the donations that were given there. And if you're following world news in the last few years, you'll probably even guess that it was after that major earthquake that happened in Haiti a few years back. Okay? Oh, you actually, okay, Manisha, I get you. Thanks for that detailed feedback. So you paraphrased a lot of the questions in your mind, but for the multiple choice in the list of headings, you actually went and did it on paper. Good for you. And that's probably a good idea. If you have enough time, especially the list of heading ones to paraphrase on the paper is a clever, clever idea. So good for you for doing that. Okay. And I guess maybe the multiple choice ones gives you a little bit of trouble, so that's why you did that as well. So good. All right, so let's read this food aid in Haiti together. A well-known example of aid gone wrong is the donation of rice to the Caribbean nation of Haiti. The aid began at a time when Haiti was experiencing a food, so the aid was well received. There were, however, unseen effects of this intervention. Rice became so prevalent that Haitians started eating it. This resulted in many Haitian farmers going, which put even more people in poverty. Who is benefited by this practice? We must think before giving to charity, because often we do not know the consequences of our actions. And you see the 8 choices there. Don't worry about those. You only have 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks. So you don't want to read those choices because they can actually confuse you. Sometimes more than one of those choices will fit a blank, but you will only know which one's actually correct once you read the passage. So don't read it before, okay? So don't read your choices for summary completion. Again, at home, paraphrasing this is a really good idea, okay? Now this one, you can look back at the passage if it's coming from one place, so you can actually get some help from the passage after you read. Okay, members, let's do a little bit of reading. So read with me. Try to follow my speed. If you can, read aloud. So listen to yourself. And I'll do a little bit of active reading practice with you here as well. I'm not going to go through every paragraph and every question, but I'll go through different questions for different paragraphs, okay? So let's do a little bit of that active reading together. Is it big enough? Can you see the letters okay? I hope so. It's quite sharp, so you should be okay. All right, let's read together. So again, go back to the top. Charity, always a positive good. Giving money to charity, whether it is cancer research, humanitarian aid, or something else, is accepted by the vast majority of people as an intrinsic good. Though we sometimes do cast a doubtful eye towards the practice of charity, this is to say the proportion of donated funds that reach the intended source, the intended effects on the source are almost never doubted. People need help, and charity helps them. This is uncontroversial, or is it? Some people argue giving to cancer charities does little more than line the pockets of pharmaceutical companies. Meanwhile, others argue that giving to humanitarian aid charities does not improve, but actually worsens the lives of those affected by the charity. All right. In your own words, Naveen, Mohammed, Jeffrey, Manisha, what is that paragraph about? So what does the author say with this paragraph to you, the reader? Okay, I can make it a little bit bigger for you. And everybody else who's watching, try to figure this out as well. So even though you're not in the chat, don't be shy. See if your answer matches up with what the members will say and what I'll come back at you at. It's a little bit more than just giving money to charity, but yes, at the highest level or at the most simple level, Mohammed, it is giving money to charity. I would take it one step further, Mohammed. I'd take it just one step further. So I'd add one little bit there. But I know you gave a very quick answer there. Naveen, the necessity and actual scenario of giving money. Yeah, that's kind of close also. I don't know if you're quite on the mark. If I were drawing a target and the center would be the bullseye, I think you'd be still a little bit off from the bullseye, but you're close. Yeah, so Jeffrey says, questioning, does charity really help those in need? So a more simple way to say that, Jeffrey, I think you're the closest so far from the three. The most simple way, and work towards this, students, because being able to express your ideas in a simple format is not only elegant, but it's very intelligent and very powerful in communication. So if I had to say, I would say that this paragraph is about the actual value of charity, okay? So here, what I would say is the actual value of charity. Mohammed, yeah, use of charity money is closer. That's approximating the actual value of charity. Okay, so just the what question there, all right? So I would say the value of charity money. And within that, of course, why? Well, it's debated that it's good and bad, how, etc., etc. So those are all in there, but the what would be the value. All right, let's read paragraph B. The most well-funded cancer research by far is for breast cancer. Now, again, visualize while you're reading, right? So we're visualizing donating for breast cancer. Many of you probably know that the pink ribbon is the symbol of breast cancer and breast cancer donation, right? So there are innumerable charities associated with raising money for breast cancer research, but unfortunately, almost all of this money goes not towards finding a cure, but finding treatments that extend a patient's life. Because the monies raised by most charities end up in private research companies, these companies have a financial incentive to produce medications which are profitable. Unfortunately, for those among us who are suffering and will suffer from breast cancer and other cancers, finding a cure is simply not profitable. As it turns out, just a second, I'll get the camera going back here. I thought I fixed that actually, but let's see. Okay. Sorry about that interruption. All right. So, finding a cure is simply not profitable. As it turns out, 97% of money that actually contributes to breast cancer research, that is not counting a charity's operating costs, for example, is spent on treatments that merely extend a patient's life by a matter of weeks. Given that charity overhead is often 50% or more, the math works out like this. For every 100 pounds given towards finding a cure for breast cancer, only £1.50 or 1.5% of that money goes to actually finding a cure for breast cancer. The actual number, depending on the particular charity, may be even less. Should research laboratories really be spending hundreds of millions of pounds on merely extending a sick person's life? Ethically, the answer is no. Instead, they should be spending that money on actually trying to find a cure. So that sick person does not merely have 2 torturous weeks longer to endure, but decades of vibrant, healthy life ahead of them. Okay, so what is this paragraph talking about? It's talking about breast cancer as an example of charity money which is often not used well. Why? So why is the money donated for breast cancer often not used well? Please answer this question for me, members. So here I'm focusing on the why. I gave you the what. I'm practicing the active reading with you. I don't want to go through all the what, why, hows for each paragraph. Otherwise, this would be a very, very long lesson. So here, let's focus on the why question. So what? Breast cancer. Cancer is an example of charity not being used well in the world. Why? Why does the author introduce this domain or this area of charitable donations? What's the purpose? What's the logic or the reasoning of the author in this case? Can you tell me that? Mohammed, you said money is used only for research. A lot of money is used for research. That's part of the answer. So why? Because a lot of money is used for research, but it's not the best answer. So again, if I have a bullseye like this, and here's the center of the circle, or sorry, a target like this, and here's the bullseye, then you're kind of here, Mohammed. So you're not quite at the center of that bullseye. Naveen says about 97% of money is focusing on extending a patient's life by relevant treatments rather than preventing the disease. That's more of the how, Naveen. You're kind of going into the how the money is actually used percentage-wise. You're still, again, you're kind of the same here with Mohammed. You're just off the center. Jeffrey, again, very good, okay? Jeffrey, you're much, much closer to the center here. So have a look at Jeffrey's response, Naveen and Mohammed. He says that the companies want to make money, they want to profit, and finding a cure is not a good plan for the purpose of making money. If you cure people, they no longer need treatment, they're no longer buying drugs, medicine, and of course, that's not as profitable. Good. Manisha, good for you. That's probably comes from paraphrasing from your active reading that you can still remember the titles of the passages from your exam. That actually shows that you are really active in your reading. Good for you. Okay, so the why, yeah, absolutely is money does not go to the end goal because it's lost to administration and alternative goals or bad goals such as treatments and not cures. Okay, so that's the why here. All right, let's keep going. So let's look at paragraph C. Okay, now definitely keep trying. So keep it up. You want to target and figure out the what, why, how as precisely as possible. So C, cancer research is one example of the fallibility of giving to charity. Okay, so again, I'll start from the beginning. Read with me. Cancer research is one example of the fallibility of giving to charity. Giving to humanitarian aid charities is another. The Western world is showered with television adverts for humanitarian charities. These charities depict countries in Africa and Central America as completely destitute, full of abject poverty and absolutely helpless without the help of the Western world. This depiction is not only grossly misleading, but also creates a dangerous perception of the third world as utterly hopeless and utterly dependent. This perception leads to the unquestioning acceptance of charities as a positive good, since they are helping what are perceived to be helpless people. But the truth is that people in the third world are not helpless at all. However, treating them as helpless can, in fact, turn them into helpless people. Okay, I'm going to skip the what, why, how on this one and just keep going for D. So let's just keep going, doing some reading. If you're curious, you can do the what, why, how at home. So let's keep going, students. Here we go. One of the most famous examples of humanitarian aid gone wrong is the donation of rice to Haiti. It was meant, of course, as a positive good for the Haitian people. There was a food shortage, and the donated rice helped solve the problem. Actions, however, have effects, and sometimes these effects are unforeseen. Before the food shortage, Haitians ate rice an average of 1 time per week. Since the aid started, Haitians now eat rice for almost every meal, every day of the week, because the rice is free or available for nominally low prices from the local vendors. The Haitian people consume it to the exclusion of almost all other foodstuffs. The effect of this is to not only bankrupt the rice farmers of Haiti, of which there were previously many, but also to bankrupt huge swaths of the local food industry. This is because with free rice flooding the market, people are going to eat the rice and not spend money on other food items which are much more expensive. This results in local farmers and producers not being able to make money, and thus they go out of business. This has the effect of turning the farmers into the very kind of needy people that the aid was supposed to help in the first place. The act of charity did not reduce poverty in the country, it actually increased it greatly. Okay, so what is this nice long paragraph about? It's about the humanitarian aid of providing rice to the nation of Haiti in a time of need. Why is the paragraph talking about this? Very good, Mohammed, you're fast. Why is the paragraph talking about this? Well, it's talking about this because it's an example of how giving can have the opposite effect of what's desired, whereby the people, instead of becoming wealthier or better off, they actually become even more poor and more dependent. The question, so I answered the what, I answered the why for you, members. The question here is how. So how does the paragraph express this? And please don't write the whole sentence or everything that you saw there, just in a simple way. So how does the paragraph prove or show that people can become even more poor when they are donated charity in the form of foodstuffs? Okay, so how? And Naveen, okay, you're good on the what and the why as well, just like Mohammed. But here we're focusing on the how, members. So in your own words, in a simple way, in a one simple sentence format, how does the author use this example to prove that it can have the opposite effect? So Mohammed says reducing the price of rice, or in fact giving it for free in this case, Mohammed, affected other food items, which in turn did something. Yeah, Naveen, I like yours. That one's very simple, and now you're hitting the target right in the bullseye. Farmers lost their profits. Absolutely. So farmers lost their profits, and they themselves became poor. Okay? And of course, in Haiti, farming, agriculture is a big part of the industry. So that's why. But Naveen, if I had to say it in a very simple way, that would be a great answer there. So farmers lost their profits and became poor. Okay? Good. Jeffrey says too much free rice. Yeah, absolutely. But I think, Naveen, you have the best answer here, the most clear answer to that question. Good for you. All right, let's keep going. So farmers lost their profits and became poor. All right. E, let's read together. Breast cancer research and humanitarian aid are just two examples of charities gone wrong. However, the intent of this article is not to dissuade, means to discourage, people from giving to charity. Conversely, the intent is to make people think more critically about where their charity monies go. Who is being benefited? Who is being harmed? what are the unforeseen consequences? Thinking critically about charity is the first step in truly helping those in need. Okay. What is the author saying with this paragraph? So what is the author saying with this paragraph? What's the answer to the what question here? It's a very good what question. Of course, this is a conclusion. So as I've mentioned before, in the conclusion and in the introduction, the what, why, how can be a lot more inferred than literal. Okay, so in the body paragraphs, you can often see very clearly the what, why, how written word for word. In the conclusion and in the introduction, it's sometimes inferred. So you have to put together the ideas of the author and think about it. Okay. Naveen says, careful vetting before giving money to charity. Absolutely. So you need to be cautious before giving money to charity. And Jeffrey, you have the same answer. So thinking before you give to charity. Not do charity, because that's different. That's when you're a charity worker. But here it's thinking before you give to charity. Okay? Critical aspects before giving to charity. That's another way to say it. Very good, Manisha. So thinking twice before you donate, or where you donate. It's saying do donate. It's not. So here the author's clearly saying, yeah, I'm not telling you don't give money to charity. That would be bad. Give money to charity. Just think before donation. Mohammed, that's a very precise way of saying thinking before donating. Okay, thinking before donating. Good. All right, let's see how many of these we can answer before we, without even looking at the passage as much as possible. Now, these ones can be quite tricky, and you definitely, I always suggest double check, but you should have a good idea of where it is, okay? So even if you don't know the exact paragraph, you should have a good idea of where you saw that. So here, 14, the false portrayal of people in third world countries. Which paragraph contained that information? So here we remember there was a paragraph about people in Africa and Asia being really helpless and needing, or South America being really helpless and needing some help. So, which is completely wrong, right? So Mohammed says B, Manisha says C. I think it was either B or C. If I want to be absolutely sure, I can have a quick peek, but okay, B is cancer research, C is cancer research, D is Haitian, E is off. So let's go back to B and C. Okay, here we go. So you said B or C, right? So cancer research is one example of fallibility of charity. The Western world is showered with television adverts. And if I remember Africa and Central America, remember that names of countries, names of people, and dates like 2010, these are the easiest to look for if you have to look. As long as you remember that the paragraph was talking about Africa and Central America, where people are portrayed as being really helpless, then you can look for these two words and be sure very quickly that it is paragraph C, okay? So again, notice the strategy that I used there. I remembered that it was Africa and Central America, and that's what I was looking for. All right? So the answer then is C. Okay? All right, number 15, the unseen negatives, the unseen negative effects of donating food. All right, that should be pretty easy now, because following C comes the example, right? So you should be able to answer this one without looking at the passage. Very good. Good for you. All right, excellent. All students in agreement there. That's Haitian, that's Haiti, talking about food donation gone wrong. The unethical nature of some research. That one should be fairly easy as well, because it was quite detailed. And we remember the research that we're talking about. We're talking about breast cancer research. That's right, Mohammed. That's right, Naveen. Very good. This one we know because I actually asked you that active reading question also, right? So I asked you why this paragraph is talking about this, and we said, well, it's because the charity money is misused to search for treatment and not for cures. So we're very confident in B in this case. Okay, number 17, charity can increase poverty instead of decreasing it. Again, this should be fairly easy with the what, why, how. Yeah, very good, Mohammed. Very good, Naveen. Yeah, be confident, Naveen. If you have that very quick answer of D again, perhaps, then be really confident about that. It does say you can use any letter more than once. And we talked about this, right? You actually gave me the answer to that one, Naveen. So you should be confident. You said farmers losing profits, so farmers becoming poor, right? So you should be confident there, all right? Especially when you give me that accurate how answer. Okay, finding cures does not earn money for companies. So finding cures does not earn money for companies. Okay, that was again with, wasn't A, it was again, if I remember correctly, with cancer research. So here I would say B, right? I'm pretty sure it was paragraph B that said that the reason why these cancer research companies are looking for treatments and not cures is because it doesn't earn them money. Okay, so I'd be quite confident. The only one I would have gone back and checked for is this one, and I'd be confident about these double answers here. Okay, even if I've made a mistake, it might not be worth confusing myself or flipping through the pages unless I have time. Okay, so but good. I think you did an excellent job there. All right, I think you've done an excellent job on these. Okay, let's keep going. Now, these ones here, again, you should try to answer on your own. Only if you're confused should you go back and look. So let's complete these sentences. While charity is considered an intrinsic good by many people, others something its effectiveness. So what would be a good word there to put in? Okay, what goes into this blank? So without looking at the passage, what would you look to put in there? Okay, so Jeffrey says doubt its effectiveness. Doubt is a very good word. Excellent. Good for all of you. So doubt its effectiveness. All right. If you had to look for the answer, where would you look for this one? So if you're like, I'm a bit confused, I don't know where to go with this, then you decide, okay, I'm going to search for this one. I have a little bit of time. Where should you look for this? Where was this information discussed? Which paragraph? That's right, Jeffrey. Paragraph A. Very good, Naveen. It's the introduction. So again, remember, the answers here come in the order of the passage, right? So definitely the introduction here. So here, if I had to look, I'd go back to the introduction. And one word that I might hope to find is this interesting word here, intrinsic. It's the same as innately, fundamentally. Good. Okay, so let's say I want to do that. So let's go back to A. And here, okay, something is accepted by as an intrinsic good, though we sometimes do cast a doubtful eye towards the practice of charity. Okay, great. So here I see that word doubtful. Now you can definitely be confident that the answer is doubt. Okay. The word doubtful may work, but definitely make sure that you have the correct grammar form. Okay? Doubt is definitely the word. Don't write doubtful. Doubt its effectiveness. Okay? So good. Doubt is the right word. I'm confident. That's great. Okay? Companies have a something to make products that are profitable. what's the right word here? So if, without going back into the passage, what is the right word to put in here? And here, of course, I realize that if I have to search for the answer, I'd search in paragraph B, because that's where it's talking about companies making profits. But hopefully I don't. Remember, you don't want to search for every word. Here's a question. Arcana, I'm not sure if you're still in here or if you're gone, but Manisha, Arcana, if either of you are still watching, how many of the answers were you able to give without searching the passage? And how many did you actually go back and look? And don't be shy, be honest. If you're hearing me, if you're still in here in the chat, let me know. I'm curious. Again, feedback is good. Companies have an obsession to make products that are profitable? No. Companies have a motive? Maybe not. So I haven't seen the right word here. Companies have a motive to make products. Yeah, okay, motive's not bad, Mohammed. And they might actually take that because it's very close to the right word. Okay, so here, if I have to go back, I'm going to go back and look at paragraph B. And if I have to search for a word or a paraphrase for a word, which word am I looking for? Naveen, very good. Desire is much better. Okay, desire is definitely a good word. It's a strong choice, so I'll put that in. Desire is fine. The word I thought of is incentive. Okay, which is close to what you said, which is motive, right? So I would say desire, incentive is good. Which word should I look for in paragraph B? Which word should I look for in that paragraph? If I'm going back, I don't want to just generally search for this information. That would be a bad idea. It could really take a long time. Yeah, profitable. Exactly. Very good, Naveen. Very good, Mohammed. So yeah, I'd probably look for this, but don't just look for the word profitable. Look for making money. Look for earnings. So look for synonyms for that, or definitions for that as well. Okay. You might get lucky, you might find profitable, but don't bet on it, okay? It's not always that easy. So right away, I can see profitable here. And then here, if I go back a little bit, so when you read a lot, you'll train your eye to catch these words very quickly. So profitable, so I go back and see the sentence. Because the monies raised by most charities end up in private research companies, these companies have a financial incentive to produce medications which are profitable. Okay, so what is my correct answer here? So if I've gone back now and I've checked my paragraph, what word do I want to use? Or words? Okay, very good, Naveen. Yeah, you caught that as well. So you realize that, oh, whoa, wait a second. I probably want to put in both of these words, not just one. So I got the word incentive, but financial incentive is even better as the answer. So this is where you really have to pay attention to the two words from the passage. And here I would say financial incentive. Okay, so companies have a financial incentive, it's much more clear this way, to make products that are profitable. Very good. Okay, good for you, Naveen. Okay, 21, 98.5% of money donated to curing breast cancer actually goes towards finding treatments which only something a patient's life but do not cure them. You can probably get this one without looking back at the passage. What's the right word? You should have this level of vocabulary if you're looking for a band 7, 7.5 for sure. Extend. Okay, so Naveen says extends. Yeah, it's very good, Naveen. Extends, right? Makes a patient's life. And because it's a patient, it has to be extends with an S. So you were very clever, Naveen, to make sure that you put that in there. Good. If there's no S here, so if you say which only extend a patient's life, might not get that one right. Okay? because it is a singular. All right, let's keep going. Number 22, the last one for this question set. The author argues that the practice of spending money on extending sick people's lives, this question helps you answer that one, is something because they should be finding a cure instead. What's the answer for 22? Again, if you have some good vocabulary, you might not need to go back and read the passage here. You might be able to get it. Okay. So is morally wrong. Yeah. Now, if you write morally wrong, absolutely, you'll get that. You could probably use one word here as well and get it right, because there is a pretty much a perfect synonym for this. Immoral, would be right, or unethical. So IELTS would probably take all of those, would take morally wrong, unethical, or immoral. All of those are close enough synonyms that you should get it, and you should pick up that point, no matter which one it is. Okay, very good. Excellent. Good job, members. Let's finish up this last question set, the filling in the blanks in the summary completion question. Okay, so here we go. Food aid in Haiti. So we know now that this entire piece of information is coming from paragraph D. So if we have to look, we know that it's coming from paragraph D. Thank you for confirming that, Mohammed. All right, so here we go. Let's read together. A well-known example of aid gone wrong is the donation of rice to the Caribbean nation of Haiti. The aid began at a time when Haiti was experiencing a food something. Now, one strategy for filling in the blanks is answer on your own. It's just like multiple choice this way. Answer on your own and then choose the correct answer. So Mohammed says it's a food shortage. Naveen says it's a food deficiency. Both of those are quite close. And if we look, I kind of spoiled it a little bit. It was at the bottom, but you see shortage right there. So make sure you put in the letter B in your answer sheet, not the word. Okay? So B it is. Yeah, absolutely. Shortage. So the aid was well received. There were, however, unseen effects of this intervention. Rice became so prevalent that Haitians started eating it. What's the word here? If you visualize this paragraph, it should be quite easy. So eating it, this is going to be obviously something about frequency. So Jeffrey says they started eating it daily. More often, says Naveen, or every day. Okay, likely those are all great. So let's see. Bankrupt closely, break daily, certain famine weekly. So we know it's not weekly, we know it's daily, so G it is. Okay, very good. Rolling along nicely. This resulted in many Haitian farmers going what? And we should remember this. So what happened to the farmers? Because they were eating, people were eating rice every day. That was given to them freely. So the Haitian farmers went bankrupt that were dealing with other kinds of things like potatoes and so on. So bankrupt, A, there it is. We don't need to go too far. If it matches what we say, then definitely, I'll get you back for the last couple questions here, then definitely you're on the right track, okay? So don't second guess yourself if there's an exact match between what you think and what's there, okay? So here we go. A. Okay. Which put even more people in poverty. Who has benefited by this practice? We must think something before giving to charity. What's the word that goes in there? We must think what? Remember, that's coming out of the very end of the reading passage. And the author suggests for us to think critically, not positive, Mohammed. The author suggests for us to think critically. Lucky for you, Mohammed, in this case, the word positive is not in there, but that would trick you, that would catch you. So H, critically, okay? Remember, we said that at the end, right? So we must think critically before giving to charity, because often we do not know the consequences of our actions. All right, very nice interaction today, members. I tip my hat to you. An excellent job. I can definitely see that a lot of you are doing great. Mohammed, Jeffrey, do you have an IELTS exam planned sometime soon? I know that as you saw Arcana and Manisha jump into this class, they just did theirs. Naveen, kind of the same question. Do you have your IELTS exams coming up soon? Do you feel ready? Do you have any questions? At this point? So Naveen, your exam will be December 1st. That's great. You still have quite a bit of time. Mohammed, next month. Okay, good. I can tell you're really, all of you are, you're on the right track. You're doing good. If you have a request, or if you want me to discuss a topic that you're having trouble with or that you still don't understand clearly, make sure to send me a request for next week. Same thing, Jeffrey. It's totally fine that you don't have a day planned yet. But if you have something that you're curious about, a task 1 question maybe, a task 2, or a speaking topic, send me some requests for these members only chat classes, so I can schedule that one. Next week is open, so I can definitely put something in there. All right, so send me a request. All right, members, again, thank you so much for your participation. Thank you all the viewers who are watching right now. You can become a member of our channel by clicking the join button beside the subscribe button. If you see it, if you don't, it might not be available in your country. Nonetheless, you should definitely check out our websites, ahelp.com, glshelp.com. These websites have all of our full-length video sessions, pre-recorded HD and live sessions in your video files there, as well as a fully interactive course, 6 full practice exams you can use on your phone, tablet, computer. They're interactive. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Again, we're filming HD tomorrow, so no class Monday, Tuesday. Back on Wednesday the 31st, and I will set the schedule and let you know what we're going to do. See you in a while. Bye for now, everyone. Much love to all of you.